All right, welcome back to the Daily Mastermind. My name is George Wright III with your daily dose of inspiration, motivation, and education. I am really excited to be back, and today we're going to be talking about creating discipline for some massive results. If you're new to the podcast or just catching up on what we've been covering, we're doing a series right now, and a lot of people listening to this podcast struggle with limiting beliefs and obstacles in their mindset, but also in strategies in business. And I typically go back to these same steps. These are the steps that I go back to whenever I'm faced with either wanting to create more momentum or more results, or simply just needing to pivot or get a fresh start. And so if you're in any of those situations, I think these things are going to help you. And the steps that we're covering are to create vision, to create clarity, and then make decisions, core decisions, and create certainty around those decisions in order to really push you forward. Then we talked about needing to take all-out massive action. And today we're going to talk about your all-time favorite, the one that no one ever struggles with. Wink, wink. You can probably see me if you're on the video, but it's discipline. It's discipline, but it's one of the most important steps. It's one of the steps that will either help you or hurt you long-term in your life. So why are we talking about discipline? I know it's a common theme when it comes to creating results, but why discipline, and what areas do you want to create discipline in? Well, I would argue that you need discipline in every area of your life. Every single area of your life could and should need additional discipline, because discipline, what I've learned in my life is that discipline will ultimately lead to happiness. The discipline will actually lead to happiness. Because what it does is it allows you to, first of all, when you get more results, you're obviously going to be more fulfilled and happier, right? And when you can create discipline, you'll create habits. You'll create positive habits and things that will help you. But especially when you feel like life might be getting out of control or might be not within your mental perspective of where it should be, right? Like right now, when people suffer from depression, anxiety, stress, when they feel that their environment is all over them, what you can do is you can implement more discipline in your life, and you can learn to control the things that you can control and then let go of the things you can't. Because many of us get so caught up in the fact that everything is just, outside our control and things that we don't have influence over, that we forget that there are many, many things in our life that we do control. And we spend all our time trying to control things that we can't control. Look, I've done that a lot throughout my life. But what you need to do is to learn to control and create discipline in key areas of your life that you have influence in. So what is it that you can control and create discipline in? Well, your health, your body, your mindset, your spirit, your routine, your schedule, your priorities, all of your daily rituals. Pretty much any area of your life that you'd like, you could create discipline, and you could create areas that create habits for success. But I want to really emphasize one of those in particular, and that's your mindset. See, we really do control the way we perceive things. Now, we may have, through lack of discipline in our life, we may have developed habits which help us to kind of naturally go to the negative or to fear or to limiting beliefs. But there's ways to train that. Your discipline, just like your mind, is a muscle that you have to train. Your mindset is something that you absolutely have control over. In fact, it was Marcus Aurelius that said, "You have power over the mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you'll find your strength." I love that quote because obviously coming from him, right? An ultimate stoic. You've got to be able to create discipline, because when you can create discipline in your perception, your actions, your activities, especially with your mind, you're going to find that it leads you down a path of greater fulfillment. So the other thing to keep in mind is discipline will take over when your motivation leaves you. See, motivation and willpower are a limited resource. And most of us have made some really big mistakes in our life where what we try to do is we try to continue to motivate ourselves. We try to continue to kind of inspire and motivate us to get results. And what we don't realize is that motivation will fade. And constantly filling that up is like constantly trying to fill your car up with gas and running out. What you need to realize, and this is a real secret that you normally don't think about, is that discipline will ultimately make your life easier, even though you think and you know it's hard to create discipline, because discipline helps you create habits, and habits will kick in when your motivation is gone. Habits will create subconscious actions and activities that will help you to become automatic when it comes to doing things you know that will help you be successful. Have you ever noticed that there are certain habits in your life, like brushing your teeth and driving to work, or certain things, getting up, getting dressed, that you don't even think about anymore? They're automatic. That's because they're habits. And on the other side of the coin, there are certain things that you have continually done that have created bad habits. The fact that you might always think negative about a certain situation, or the fact that you might always have a certain routine that does not serve you. So repetition will help you create habits that create subconscious routines, and that's done through discipline. Discipline will help you to create habits over time. So you have to learn to install this principle of discipline in your life, even if you have vision and clarity and decisions and actions that are clear, and even if you have certainty around what you're doing, you've got to instill that discipline. So how do you do that? Well, it's just like the steps we've talked about to this point. When you have clarity, and you make the decision to create discipline, and you build certainty around it, and you take actions, discipline will logically follow that. And it's the path that will allow you to start capitalizing on all the efforts and all of the goals and all the aspirations that you have. And ultimately, through your subconscious programming, it'll create habits that will help you. So, look, there's no easy way to put this. You've got to stop looking for the safe, easy, magic bullet, easygoing path to results. Successful people create discipline, period. Successful people learn and decide to do things even when they don't feel like doing it. That's why prosperity pillar number 3 is I act in spite of my mood. So how to get discipline? You do it. You do it anyway. And I would suggest, some things that will help you. Number 1, know your strengths. Don't try to create discipline in areas that are a weakness of yours. Know your strengths, and also remove temptations. It's really hard to create discipline. Let's say you're trying to follow a diet, or you're trying to follow, a certain path of daily rituals, and you've got constant temptations. If you have temptations that are going to keep you from staying disciplined to your habits, get rid of the temptation, period. Don't buy that crappy food. Don't put yourself in position around people that will keep you unfocused. Remove the temptations. And then another one that I really love to talk about is to change your perception on willpower and your limits. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. When you stop assuming that your willpower will run out or that you will hit your limit, and you start thinking about and changing your perspective that most of us stop at 40%, like David Goggins talks about. Most of us have far, far, far more ability inside us than we believe we have. So learn to change your perception on what your limits are. And then also, like we always talk about, surround yourself with the right people. When you surround yourself with support and masterminds and networks and mentoring, your discipline will become easier. Your discipline's much easier when you're around people that you want to be around and that are doing the same thing. So just understand this, and this is the final thought I want to leave you with. Discipline is a muscle. You have to exercise it to build it up. So build up your discipline by creating discipline. And be patient, but be persistent. We're going to talk more about persistence throughout this week. And ultimately, just have resolve in your mind that you are going to create discipline as one of your core values. One of the best values you could have in life is a value of discipline, wanting, encouraging, mastering the skill set of discipline, and the muscle and repetition, subconscious programming of discipline will take you so far in your life I can't even begin to tell you. And ultimately, over time, rather than trying to master motivation and all these types of things, discipline will make your life so much easier. That's my thought for today. I hope that's something that inspires you. Share this thought. Tell me what works for you, what doesn't. What do you struggle with discipline? Hit me up on the Daily Mastermind Facebook page, or the Daily Mastermind Instagram page and give me some feedback. Send me feedback as to what you struggle with so that I can incorporate that and help you. That's my goal. That's why I'm here. I look forward to talking with you a little bit more. This has been the Daily Mastermind, and I'm George Wright III. Have an amazing day, and I'll talk with you tomorrow.